Welcome back to English Emporium. Today, we are going to talk about something that most people do not want to hear, something uncomfortable, something powerful, something that could change your life forever. Nobody is coming to save you. Read that again. Nobody is coming to save you. Not your family, not your friends, not the government, not luck, not some perfect moment waiting for you in the future. Just you. Now, I know what you might be thinking. That sounds harsh. That sounds cold. But listen carefully, because this is not a message of sadness. This is a message of power. This is a message of freedom. Because the moment you truly understand this truth, your entire life can begin to change. So open your mind, stay focused, and let's begin. Part 1. The Waiting Trap. Most people are waiting. They are waiting for the right time, waiting for more money, waiting for someone to believe in them, waiting for conditions to become perfect. But here is the truth. The perfect moment never comes. Life does not pause and say, okay, now you're ready, now everything is easy, now you can begin. No, life keeps moving, with or without you. Time keeps passing, with or without your permission. Think about someone you know, maybe even yourself, a person who says, I will start when things get better, or I will try when I feel more confident, or I will change when someone helps me. Months pass, then years, and nothing changes, not because the world refused to help, but because they kept waiting for help that was never going to arrive. This is what I call the waiting trap. The waiting trap feels safe. It feels comfortable, because waiting gives you an excuse. If you never try, you never fail. If you never start, you never face rejection. Waiting protects the ego, but slowly, it destroys the soul. Listen carefully. Waiting is not rest. Waiting is surrender. When you wait for someone else to fix your life, you give away the most powerful thing you own. Your agency, your ability to act, your ability to choose, your ability to move. And here is something important you must understand. Most people around you are also waiting. Your friends may be waiting. Your family may be waiting. The people you look up to might also be waiting for something. This is not because they are bad people. This is because nobody taught them that they are the answer. Society often teaches us to look outside for solutions. Look for a better job. Look for a better partner. Look for a better situation. But very few people teach us to look inward, to look at our own hands, our own mind, our own choices, and say, I will do this myself. Think about a seed planted in dry soil. It does not wait for rain to come before it starts growing its roots downward. It pushes, it reaches, it searches for whatever water exists nearby, because the seed understands something powerful. Survival does not wait for perfect conditions, and neither should you. Another important truth is this. The longer you wait, the harder starting becomes, because waiting creates mental habits. The habit of postponing, the habit of depending, the habit of saying, not yet, when the real answer is right now. Every day you wait, the voice inside your head grows louder. The voice that says, you are not ready. The voice that says, someone else will do it. The voice that says, maybe tomorrow. But tomorrow becomes next week. Next week becomes next month. And one day you look back and realize that years of your life were spent waiting for a rescue that never came. Do not let that be your story. The waiting trap has one exit, and that exit is a decision. A single powerful decision that changes everything. I will stop waiting, and I will start moving. Not perfectly, not confidently, not with all the answers, just moving. One small step, then another, because motion creates momentum, and momentum creates change. Part 2. Why people wait for others. Now you might ask, why do people fall into the waiting trap? Good question. And the answer is this: fear, not laziness, not weakness. Fear of failure, fear of judgment, fear of trying your best and still not being enough. These fears are very human, very normal. But when fear controls your decisions, your life shrinks. Think about it carefully. A child learning to walk falls down hundreds of times, but the child never thinks, I should wait until I know how to walk perfectly before I try again. No. The child gets up, tries again, falls again, gets up again, keeps moving. Somewhere between childhood and adulthood, many people lose that instinct. They start fearing the fall more than they desire the progress. And so they wait. They wait for someone to hold their hand. They wait for someone to say, you are ready. They wait for permission to live their own life. But here is the painful truth. That permission is yours to give yourself. Nobody can give you confidence. Confidence comes from action. Nobody can give you courage. Courage comes from doing the thing you fear. Permission, yours to give yourself. Confidence comes from action. Courage comes from doing the thing you fear. Nobody can hand you discipline, focus, or strength. These things are built, not given. Another reason people wait is this: they have been disappointed before. They tried, they failed, and that failure left a wound. So now they protect themselves by not trying again, by telling themselves, what is the point? Nothing ever changes for me. If that sounds familiar, listen carefully. Past failure is not proof of future failure. It is proof that you tried. And people who try, even imperfectly, are always ahead of people who never move. Every great person you admire failed many times, publicly, painfully. But they did not wait for someone to come and fix what broke. They fixed it themselves. They rebuilt. They continued. And that is why you know their names today. Part 3. The rescuer illusion. There is a story that many people tell themselves. It sounds like this: one day, someone will see my potential. One day, someone will give me a chance. One day, the right person will come into my life, and everything will finally work out. This story feels beautiful. It feels hopeful. But for most people, it becomes a trap, because they are not building, they are not growing, they are not moving forward. They are simply waiting for the main character of their life to arrive. But here is the truth that changes everything. You are already the main character. You were always the main character. There is no one coming to play that role for you. This is what I call the rescuer illusion. The rescuer illusion is the deep belief that someone or something outside of you will eventually fix your life. Maybe a mentor, maybe a partner, maybe a business opportunity, maybe a lucky break. And so, instead of building your own path, you spend your energy searching for the rescuer. You search in relationships. You search in new jobs. You search in new cities. You move, but you carry the same waiting mindset everywhere you go. And the problem follows you, because the problem was never the location. The problem was never the people around you. The problem was the belief that someone else held the key to your own life. Listen carefully. No one is coming with your key. Think about a locked door. You are standing in front of it, waiting, hoping someone will arrive with the key. Days pass, weeks pass, months pass, the door stays locked. But what you do not realize is this: you have been holding the key the entire time. It was in your hand. It was always in your hand. That key is your decision, your action, your effort, your willingness to try, even without guarantees. Many people search for a mentor to show them every step, and mentors are valuable. Learning from others is powerful. But here is the difference between healthy learning and the rescuer illusion. Healthy learning says, I will study, observe, and then take action myself. The rescuer illusion says, I will wait until someone guides me through every single step before I begin. One creates movement, the other creates permanent waiting. Another form of the rescuer illusion is this: waiting for motivation. People say, I will start when I feel motivated. But motivation is not a visitor that arrives on schedule. Motivation is unpredictable. Some mornings it is strong. Some mornings it disappears completely. Part 4. What happens when you stop waiting? Now, let us talk about something powerful. What actually happens when a person stops waiting and starts moving? The answer might surprise you. At first, nothing feels different. In fact, it feels harder, because taking responsibility for your own life is uncomfortable. It removes excuses. It removes the comfort of blame. It places everything directly in your own hands, and that weight can feel heavy at first. But something quietly begins to shift. When you stop waiting for someone to fix your finances, and you take one small action yourself, your relationship with money begins to change. When you stop waiting for someone to motivate you, and you choose discipline instead, your relationship with yourself begins to change. When you stop waiting for the perfect time to learn English, and you open a book today, your relationship with growth begins to change. Small shifts, small changes, but they compound, they build. Day by day, week by week, they create a new version of you. Think about it this way. Imagine two people starting at the same point in life. Same background, same resources, same challenges. The first person waits. They wait for better circumstances. They wait for support. They wait for someone to open the door. The second person moves. Not perfectly, not confidently, but consistently. They take one small action every day. They face discomfort. They continue anyway. After 1 year, the difference between these two people is small. Maybe noticeable, maybe not. After 5 years, the difference is enormous. After 10 years, they live in completely different worlds, not because the second person was more talented, not because they had more help, but because they chose movement over waiting every single day. This is the compounding effect of personal responsibility. Every day you choose to act, you invest in your future. Every day you choose to wait, you withdraw from it. And here is something important. You cannot get those days back. Time is the one resource that never returns. Money can be earned again. Skills can be rebuilt. Relationships can be repaired. But time, once spent, is gone forever. This is why waiting is so costly. Not just emotionally, not just mentally, but permanently. Every day spent waiting for rescue is a day that could have been spent building. And building, even slowly, even imperfectly, always leads somewhere. Waiting leads nowhere. Another powerful truth about stopping the wait is this: it changes how others see you. When you carry the energy of someone who is moving, who is building, who is taking responsibility, people notice. Opportunities find people who are in motion. not people who are sitting still, hoping to be discovered. Think about water flowing in a river. The river does not stop and wait for the sea to come to it. It moves, constantly, sometimes slowly, sometimes powerfully, but always forward. And eventually, it reaches the ocean. Be the river, not the waiting puddle. There's also something that happens internally when you stop waiting. Your self-respect grows. Remember, self-respect is not built by words. It is not built by good intentions. It is built by action, by promises kept, by difficult choices made, by showing up for yourself, even when no one else does. Every time you choose yourself, every time you act despite fear, every time you say, "I will figure this out," instead of "I hope someone saves me," your inner voice becomes stronger. Your belief in yourself becomes unshakable, and that belief is worth more than any rescuer could ever give you, because a rescuer can solve one problem, but self-belief solves every problem that comes after. Part 5. Taking ownership of your life. There is a word that separates people who grow from people who stay stuck. That word is ownership. Not talent, not luck, not connections. Ownership. Ownership means this: whatever is happening in your life right now, you are responsible for changing it. Not blaming, not explaining, not justifying. Changing now. I want to be careful here, because ownership does not mean that everything bad in your life is your fault. Life is not always fair. Some people face harder circumstances than others. Some people carry heavier burdens. That is real. That is true. But here is the powerful distinction. You may not be responsible for everything that happened to you, but you are responsible for what you do next. Read that again, slowly. You may not be responsible for everything that happened to you, but you are responsible for what you do next. That next step, that next decision, that next action. That is yours. Many people confuse ownership with blame. They think, if I accept responsibility, I am admitting that everything is my fault. But that is not what ownership means. Ownership means power. It means agency. It means, regardless of what happened before, I choose what happens next. Think about two people who both lose their jobs. Same situation, same difficulty. The first person says, "This is unfair. The economy is broken. Nobody wants to help me. I am a victim of this situation." And they wait. They complain. They hope something changes. The second person says, "This is difficult. This is painful. But I am going to figure out my next step." And they move. They learn new skills. They adapt. They rebuild. Both people experience the same event, but their relationship with that event was completely different. And because of that, their futures became completely different. Ownership is not about the event. Ownership is about the response. And the response is always your choice. This is one of the most liberating truths in the world, because it means no matter what has happened, no matter how difficult things have been, you still have power. The power to respond, the power to choose, the power to move forward. Nobody can take that from you. Not circumstances, not people, not the past. Your response belongs to you. Always. Part 6. Building your own path. Here is something that many people do not realize. Most successful people did not follow a clear, perfect path. They did not have someone holding their hand at every step. They did not wait until everything was mapped out perfectly before they began. They built their path by walking it step by step, decision by decision, mistake by mistake, correction by correction. They learned as they moved. They adjusted as they grew, and slowly, a path appeared beneath their feet. This is how real progress works. Not perfectly planned, not fully guided, built through consistent action. Think about someone learning English. Maybe that is you. Maybe you are watching this video right now because you want to improve your English. You want to speak more confidently. You want to understand more clearly. You want to express yourself without hesitation. Now imagine two learners. The first learner says, "I will start speaking English seriously when I find the perfect teacher, when I have the perfect course, when I feel ready enough." And they wait. Weeks pass. Months pass. Their English stays the same. Because waiting does not build language. Practice builds language. The second learner says, "I am not perfect. My grammar has mistakes. My pronunciation is not perfect, but I will practice today. I will read today. I will listen today. I will try today." And they do. Imperfectly. Nervously. But consistently. After 6 months, the first learner is still waiting for the perfect conditions. The second learner is speaking English, not perfectly, but really, truly, confidently. That is the power of building your own path. You do not need perfect conditions. You do not need perfect guidance. You do not need someone to carry you. You need to start and keep going. Another important truth about building your own path is this: mistakes are not failures. Mistakes are materials. Every mistake you make while building teaches you something. Every wrong turn shows you what to correct. Every difficulty reveals a strength you did not know you had. People who wait for someone to guide them never make those mistakes. And because they never make those mistakes, they never learn those lessons. They stay protected. But protection and growth rarely exist together. Growth lives outside the comfort zone. It lives in the messy middle, in the uncertain moments, in the "I am not sure this will work, but I am going to try anyway" moments. That is where the real building happens. Part 7. The loneliness of growth. Now, I want to talk about something that many motivational videos skip. Something real. Something that many people feel, but rarely say out loud. Growing alone can feel lonely. When you decide to stop waiting. When you decide to take ownership. When you decide to build your own path. Sometimes the people around you do not understand. They might say, "Why are you working so hard?" They might say, "Why do you take everything so seriously?" They might even say, "You have changed." And they are right. You have changed. But change is not a problem. Change is the goal. Here is something important to understand. Not everyone will support your growth. Not because they are bad people, but because your growth sometimes makes others uncomfortable. It reminds them of what they are not doing. It challenges the familiar version of you that they are comfortable with. And so, sometimes they will pull, sometimes gently, sometimes not so gently, back toward the old version of you, back toward waiting, back toward comfort. Do not go back. You are allowed to grow, even if others are not ready to grow with you. You are allowed to move forward, even if others prefer to stay still. You are allowed to build, even if no one around you is building. Growth is not a group activity. It is a personal commitment. Think about a tree growing in a field. The other trees do not grow at the same speed. Some grow faster, some grow slower, some stop growing altogether. But a healthy tree does not slow itself down to match the others. It simply grows. Be that tree. And here's something beautiful about growing alone. The confidence you build in solitude cannot be shaken by others, because it was never built on others' opinions. It was built on your own actions, your own discipline, your own quiet, consistent effort. That kind of confidence is unbreakable. Another truth about the loneliness of growth is this: it does not last forever. As you grow, as you build, as you become, new people enter your life. People who are also building. People who understand the value of hard work. People who do not need to pull you down because they are too busy rising themselves. Your environment changes as you change, slowly, quietly, but surely. So if right now you feel alone in your growth, keep going. The right people find people who are moving. They do not find people who are waiting. Keep moving, keep building, keep growing, even alone, especially alone. Part 8, the person you must become. Here is a question that most people never ask themselves. Not, what do I want? Not, what do I need? But this, who do I need to become to get what I want? Read that slowly. Let it settle. Because most people focus on the destination, the goal, the result, the achievement. They think about what they want to have, what they want to experience, what they want to feel. But very few people think seriously about who they need to become. And here is the truth. The life you want requires a version of you that does not yet exist. That version is more disciplined, more focused, more resilient, more patient, more consistent. That version does not wait for rescue. That version does not make excuses. That version shows up every single day, regardless of how they feel. That version is who you are building toward. Right now, in this moment, with every choice you make. And the beautiful and sometimes uncomfortable truth is this: you cannot think your way into becoming that person. You cannot wish your way there. You cannot wait your way there. You have to act your way there. Every morning, you wake up early. When your body wants more sleep, you become slightly more disciplined. Every time you practice English, when your mind wants distraction, you become slightly more focused. Every time you continue, when giving up feels easier, you become slightly more resilient, slightly. Every day, compounding. This is how identity changes, not in one dramatic moment, not in one big decision, but in thousands of small moments, repeated consistently over a long period of time. Think about water and stone again. One drop of water cannot break stone, but the same drop of water, falling in the same place, every day, for years, carves through solid rock. You are that water. Your daily actions are the drops, and your future is the stone being shaped right now, invisibly, quietly, powerfully. So ask yourself today, what small action can I take right now that the person I want to become would take? Not tomorrow, not when conditions improve, not when someone helps you. Right now. Maybe it is opening a book. Maybe it is practicing one English sentence out loud. Maybe it is writing one paragraph. Daily actions, drops, future stone, small action. What small action can I take? The person I want to become. Maybe it is taking one step toward a goal you have been postponing. Whatever it is, do it now. Because that action, no matter how small, is a vote. A vote for the person you are becoming. And every vote counts. Part 9. Nobody is coming. And that is the gift. Now, I want to reframe something important at the beginning of this video. I said something that felt heavy. Nobody is coming to save you. And perhaps when you first heard it, it felt like bad news. It felt like a closed door. It felt like loneliness. But I want you to hear it differently now. Because after everything we have explored together, I want you to understand something profound. Nobody is coming to save you. Because you do not need saving. Read that again, slowly, with feeling. You do not need saving. You need awakening. You need action. Nobody is coming. Gift, heavy, bad news, closed door, loneliness, saving, awakening, action. You need the deep, unshakable decision that says, I am going to build this life myself, brick by brick, step by step, day by day. That is not a burden. That is freedom. Think about it carefully. If someone else saved you, the credit would belong to them. The strength would belong to them. The story of your transformation would belong to them. But when you save yourself, everything belongs to you. The struggle belongs to you. The growth belongs to you. The victory belongs to you. The wisdom belongs to you. And most importantly, the identity belongs to you. Nobody can take that. Nobody can diminish it. Nobody can question it, because you built it with your own hands, through your own effort, despite your own fears. That is something no rescuer can ever give you. There is a kind of person in this world who has been through difficulty, real difficulty, who has faced moments of doubt, moments of fear, moments of wanting to quit, but who kept going, alone, quietly, consistently. And when you meet that kind of person, you feel something, a quiet strength, a calm confidence, a groundedness that cannot be shaken easily. That is the person you are becoming, not because someone saved them, but because they chose themselves every single day, until choosing themselves became natural, until discipline became identity, until consistency became character, until growth became simply who they are. That is what is available to you right now, today, not after someone rescues you, not after conditions improve, not after someone finally believes in you. Now, as you are, where you are. Part 10. Your decision starts today. We have covered a long journey together in this video. We talked about the waiting trap and how it quietly steals years from people who believe rescue is coming. We talked about the rescuer illusion and how the key to your life was always in your own hand. We talked about ownership and how your response to difficulty is the most powerful thing you possess. We talked about building your own path, imperfectly, messily, but consistently. We talked about the loneliness of growth and how the right people always find people who are moving. We talked about becoming the person your future requires, one small daily action at a time. And now, we arrive at the most important part of everything, your decision. Not tomorrow, not next week, not when things feel better. Today, because today, you have a choice. The same choice that every person who ever built something meaningful had to make at some point. Stay comfortable. Keep waiting. Hope that rescue arrives, or move. Choose yourself. Take one step, then another, then another. It will not always feel good. Some days will feel impossibly hard. Some days the doubt will be loud. Some days you will want to stop, to rest, to wait just a little longer. On those days, remember this: